These are the biggest signs that mean you will be deported if ICE finds you in 2026. Most people have no idea they're moving targets, and that every day that passes, the risk of getting deported increases. I'm Jayson DiMaria, and I've been defending people from getting deported and helping families stay together for over 20 years. With the new enforcement policies coming in 2026, ICE is building lists right now of who to arrest, which is why you need to act now. Most people think they're safe because they've been here for years, but there are specific red flags that put you at the top of their list. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what makes you a priority target and what to do about it so you don't get deported. To understand why ICE and how the new enforcement policies will affect you, you have to understand why this is so important for you to be alert about even things like traveling outside the United States. Just last month, I got a desperate call from Leanne. Her husband had been detained at the airport trying to return from visiting his sick mother in Mexico. He was a permanent resident for 15 years. He traveled out dozens of times before without any problems, but this time was different. Immigration officers at the airport have finally discovered something in his background that made him deportable. Something that had been there all along, waiting like a ticking time bomb. But here's what makes Leanne's story a nightmare. Her husband had no idea he was deportable. He thought because he had traveled successfully before that he was safe. He thought his green card protected him. He was wrong on both counts. If he didn't travel, he wouldn't have had any problem with immigration at all. Now he's sitting in a detention center facing deportation while we're doing everything possible to save him and keep him here in the United States. What should have been a routine trip to see family has turned into a fight for their entire future in America. And Leanne's husband isn't alone. ICE detention numbers have skyrocketed and they're targeting people with specific characteristics. The truth is, ICE and immigration officers at ports of entry don't just randomly detain people. They have a systematic approach, a checklist of red flags that makes someone a priority for removal. If you match their profile, you're not just at risk of being deported, but you're actually already being actively hunted. But here's what people really don't understand about how immigration enforcement will really work in 2026. Immigration enforcement has become a sophisticated operation that uses databases, algorithms, and coordinated efforts between multiple agencies. They're not just waiting for you to commit a new crime or a violation. They're actively looking for people who already have deportable offenses, even if those offenses are years or decades old, which is why you need to know the warning signs so you can avoid deportation. Warning sign number 1, you're a permanent resident with any criminal conviction, and you think you're safe because you've traveled outside the United States and re-entered without problems many times before. This is the most dangerous misconception that I see. Just because you were allowed back into the country before doesn't mean you're safe to leave now. Immigration officers at busy airports of entry don't always catch deportable offenses on the spot. But now that they have more time, better technology, and stricter enforcement policies, what's really happening is that every time you travel, your information gets flagged for additional review. Eventually, an immigration officer will have time to dig deeper into your background, and when they find that deportable conviction, you'll be detained on the spot. But it's not just permanent residents who are at risk. Warning sign number 2, you have any criminal conviction, no matter how old or minor, and you don't have legal status. This includes DWIs from 20 years ago, shoplifting charges, domestic violence cases, drug possession, anything that shows up on a background check. ICE now considers any criminal conviction as a grounds for priority for removal. It doesn't matter if you completed probation, paid your fines, or you turn your life around. That conviction makes you a target for immediate detention without bond. I had a client arrested for a shoplifting charge from 1999. She thought it was ancient history. ICE used that 25-year-old conviction to justify holding her in detention for 8 months while we fought her case. And there's another warning sign that's equally as dangerous. Warning sign number 3. You've had any previous contact with the immigration system. This includes old deportation orders, denied asylum cases, overstayed visas, or even just being questioned by Border Patrol years ago. ICE maintains detailed records of every interaction you've ever had with immigration authorities. If you're in their system, they know where to find you. They know your address, your work history, your family members. I had a client who thought his deportation order from 2005 was forgotten. ICE showed up at his house 19 years later and arrested him based on that old order. They never forget and they never stop looking. But even if you don't have any of these first 3 warning signs, there are 2 more that could seal your fate. If you're watching this video and you recognize yourself in any of these first 3 warning signs, you need to call my office now at 973-934 5854. Every day you delay could be the day ICE shows up at your door. We offer same-day consultations for just $50 and even evaluate your case immediately to determine what options you have to protect yourself and your family. The call could save your life in America, so call the number on the screen right now. The final two warning signs are the ones that completely catch people off guard because they seem like normal parts of life in America. But in 2026, these everyday activities have become pathways for ICE to find and arrest you. Warning sign number 4, you're working with a social security number that doesn't belong to you, or you're working under the table without proper documentation. ICE has sophisticated systems that can detect when social security numbers are being used by multiple people or when employers are paying people without work authorization. Every time you use that borrowed social security number, you're creating a digital trail. Every paycheck, every tax return, every background check is building a case file that ICE can use to find you and arrest you. The government databases are now connected in ways they were never before. What used to be separate systems that didn't talk to each other are actually now sharing information in real time. And the final warning sign that destroys families, and if this is you, you're going to be at a higher risk of deportation. Warning sign number 5, you're from certain countries that are considered priority for removal, or you have family members who have had immigration problems before. This includes countries with high rates of immigration violations, countries with security concerns, or countries that have agreements with the United States for some sort of expedited removal. If you're from one of these countries, ICE has special task forces dedicated to finding and removing people like you. They have additional resources, faster processing times, and fewer legal protections available. Even having family members who have been deported or have immigration problems can possibly put you on ICE's radar through family connections and shared addresses. But here's what you need to understand about these warning signs. Having these warning signs doesn't mean you're automatically doomed for deportation. It means you need to take action now before ICE finds you. Every single one of these warning signs can be addressed if you act quickly and you get the right legal help. Permanent residents with criminal records can apply for waivers or seek relief that prevents deportation. People with criminal convictions can explore post-conviction relief or immigration waivers. People with old orders of deportation can file motions to reopen their cases. People working with authorization can find paths to legal status through family or employer petitions. People from priority countries can seek asylum or other forms of protection. But here's the critical thing you must understand about timing. The longer you wait, the fewer options you have. Immigration law has strict deadlines, and once ICE arrests you, many of these options disappear completely. What could be a straightforward application today becomes a desperate battle in immigration court tomorrow. Now that you know the warning signs that you will be deported if ICE finds you in 2026, there's a major legal development that just happened with Trump's massive deportation plan that could affect you or your family if you aren't up to date on these new changes. So check out this video where I break down exactly what this court ruling means for you and your family's safety, because understanding these changes could be the difference between staying protected and being caught off guard when ICE comes to your neighborhood.